Welcome, people. We are on Savannah today. We got another game from myself. This time, it's me on Poseidon. Yeah, I need to double check who I actually was on. The God of the Sea, good with cavalry and economy. Mostly just economy because of the bonuses he gets to markets and cavalry, or not cavalry, caravans and trade values. He gets a free water scout, which obviously is not going to play a part on a map like Savannah, considering it is all largely flat, and all we got for water are these two little pools that clearly have absolutely no fish or any use to them whatsoever. My opponent today in red is going to be Trim Tadpole 578 on Zeus, the king of Olympian gods. Focus on infantry and heroes, and as I like to say, myth units especially. Considering they do get less pop usage and he gains favor quicker being on Zeus himself. We're both starting pretty normally. I mean, I use the lure, but I think that is obviously the normal start for Poseidon. I haven't seen anybody not use it. It saves up that first 50 wood for the granary and then attracts all the extra wildlife right into the area. But I do find that a lot of the time it seems your villagers don't immediately start going after all the creatures here, especially if there's any aggressive hunt like lions. They'll just ignore them for a while until you come in and actually manually click. So sometimes you can feel like you've exhausted all the food here when you really haven't, and you end up needing to pay slightly more attention, which is or can be slightly annoying. The map is rather open. There's not a lot of tree lines separating anything, but that is the norm for Savannah. The artifact placement is also kind of interesting. The ones back here behind the lakes are obviously going to be slightly more protected. Same with like the settlement here. Somebody dropping a TC here will have slightly more protection, as at least two directions can't be attacked in, as compared to over here in this corner. Obviously either of these settlements are quite a bit more open. And I do think earlier on we were hearing the sounds of me running a scout straight through them. No, not yet. I'm still slightly coming around, while he is also scouting out. Where is his scout? Let me see if I can. Oh, it's hidden behind that tree there. Okay, it's just stopped while he's looking at his economy and getting that moving. He is moving up to the temple now. What's it look like over here? Okay, looks like I'm at least slightly ahead of him on that, although not far enough to actually make any difference in the game. As I send 4 villagers all with food over to where exactly? Okay, I thought they were gold. I mean, I had plenty of gold, but they are going... Where are they going? It's way too early to start this, and I doubt it's for the farms. This game was played quite a few days ago for me, so I don't really remember... I remember the high points, but not any of these specifics. Like, this is okay. And then man, where are these? Oh, I'm building a granary at the farthest hunt I like basically could from myself. Why would I ever do that? As our scouts absolutely tickle each other. Scouts don't do much to each other in this, it seems, as hits from one to the other is taking that's actually just 1 health. I mean, there is no point in fighting another scout in this game, it seems, which is kind of unfortunate. It'd be great if scouts could actually take care of each other and were an actual threat to one another, if you had any ability to get rid of them, but he is clearly through this, especially since he undoubtedly looked and stared at what in the world was going on, knows that I now have this granary out in the middle of nowhere. Maybe I was just trying to keep some villagers safe by bringing them that far away. I have no idea. He's going to run his scout right back into his base, and I assume here soon, as I successfully make it up to Hermes, that we were going to see me run away, but Ah, does he bring in his villagers? Okay. I mean, so that's a real threat. Villagers are actually way more deadly to the scout. Yeah, okay, I was not paying any attention. It's incredible how much more dangerous villagers are than a scout in this game. As I am also... Ah, that was just the sound of the sheep getting collected. I have already started replacing the scouting action of the actual scout with the centaur as I go for a settlement over here. That... Man, everything is surprising me of why in the world I'm thinking these things. Why would I go here when I already put my villagers in such an unsafe spot here? You'd think this would immediately become a way more important settlement. I mean, although it's a little farther away from my TC. And there he goes, also getting up to Mercury as one of us is... Well, I am fully pop-capped, just realizing it and panic building multiple new houses. But yeah, odd choice to go there and not here. I think it's kind of the end of that, especially since this also has gold nicely right on it, while this one does not. Although it's not too terribly far. I will, of course, probably end up mining out or chopping out this tree line, so I could get to it. It looks like I am also wrapped up. I could, I believe, make it, but it looks like I'm wrapped up in doing this and not paying any attention, so I'm not building up the forge or market currently. Whereas over here, we've got, I believe, second centaur out from Tadpole, as I will just shorten him to being called. As he sent his first, his first and his scout over here, as what is this, a sentry tower. I start panic building a sentry tower, which obviously does not help. I mean, it's not like these guys could have run out anywhere in the map anyways, being stuck all the way here. There's no way they would ever get back to the TC. But think about that. If I was going to do something that dumb, if anybody does something that dumb in their own games, at least build a tower right next to it so they can stay safe. Maybe just grab the watchtower. A watchtower would have done something, as he's going to come in with 2 centaurs on and his scout. Get a little bit of a raid as I throw up a sentry, probably scared of what just happened over there, and I want to get some vision. He has clicked in and goes right past that villager as the TC drags their fire over. The scout's at least going to fall as Theseus comes over. Scout's dead. Centaurs will run quite freely as they are pulled back to base. This little raid, well, all in all, was way worse for me considering these villagers ended up dying. And what was that? We had an attack warning over here, but I'm not sure from what. Interesting. Sheep over there, as he's moved over to this gold, is grabbing this TC. Puts us fairly close together between the two. I've started farming on that one. He'll have that up soon, so I am going to be slightly ahead in villager count, as it looks like I'm trying for my own raid here with the centaur, which he is not really paying any attention to. I'm far enough away from the TC that this is going to be quite safe. It's actually far enough from sentry towers as well. There's not much he could do outside of bring his own centaurs back. And that, if nothing else, at least made up for the damage I took earlier on that food. Those are claimed as Theseus just goes for another artifact. As I'm throwing down, what is this, a granary, trying to get more food. Centaur is finally forced to run away, as he has Centaur polemarks. He has actually been doing upgrades, grabs his watchtowers, which is a good idea considering I've just been trying a raid on him, and you can tell he has been doing upgrades. He's actually been doing upgrades all game, especially economy ones. I have done absolutely none. He is well ahead of me in that respect. Just checking around real quick, seeing if there's anything else going on, as what I can, it looks like I'm trying to build up some units. Centaur runs through and is killed. Unfortunate for that one, as more Centaur polemarks arrive. Armory going down for Tadpole. He'll finally be able to start getting up to the 3rd age, as he's already got 2 military buildings. and has... You can tell that both of us have kind of a lopsided economy, although he's doing a better job at keeping his numbers up. Very high on wood, probably way, way too high on wood. But his gold is staying strong enough. He is producing favor where I only have 2 on. I should really pull that up, as I am pulling in these military academies, probably because of this fight that just happened here that I am preparing for. As Tadpole begins to move in, or, okay, move around, or possibly just move out. This watchtower may actually come in handy, seeing if anything's going to move through that space. It looks like he might just be going to check out if I built up anything back in this location. Which, considering I was doing something as silly as that in the first place, is probably a good thing to check on. I still have these here, haven't done anything with them. I could have just clicked the TC by now. But he has also not gotten close enough to steal them back, as he's going to start moving back in towards the base. Having checked things out, I'm moving up to medium cavalry. As these 3 start coming out, okay, they're not going to get seen. Ah, they're going for that TC. So I'm going to start trying to move up to a second TC, as I have some units moving out before they will probably start moving back. Yep, thanks to that watchtower signaling out this fighting starting. As I use ceasefire, that many of them in my backline would have just killed the hero pretty freely, so this was a very good use of ceasefire. Kept me alive for a while. I am not really making use of this, though. I should really be adding buildings, probably military buildings. I don't quite have the wood, actually. Do I have I have a market. I should probably at least sell some gold, try to get another military building up, as I was clearly pop-capped and yet again just panic-built. Tadpole has done a much better job keeping on track with that, as he adds this granary back here for the hunt. Let's just take a quick look through his base. Everything is nicely spread out and quite safe. He has these forward military units. Oh, sorry, I missed this. Fight has already started. Looks like one of his heroes is going to go down. Probably the second here soon as well, as we both have centaur polemarks, but he has more. His are both focusing on my hero, though, which is probably saving a lot. If he threw all of his centaurs onto my actual human units like the Hippies, he probably would have taken that fairly well. As I run that centaur away just to make sure it can't die, and then clean up that unit. But let's see if I'm going to actually press this advantage. I don't have that many units ahead of him. And it looks like I realized that and decided to just pull away. TC is now producing. Looks like I'm going to start grabbing gold from over here, as this granary is going to almost run out of food. I do think it looks like I'm actually doing quite well on food. I thought I struggled quite heavily, but at least for right now, I have plenty built up. I wonder what... I must have just been checking to see if if he had built a settlement over there or not, as I was trying to push out. Tadpole, rather, did the classic of not quite setting a waypoint from the town center onto an actual resource, so he's not pulling anything from there. Tadpole's going to move out with his army as I start moving in. Nope, as I pause with mine. Okay, we're both holding out. If either one of us attacks here, we'll have the advantage, as the other will have to pull in to try to help out our own base. It looks like I'm going to go for a raid into his economy as I start building that up. This should bring him over, but with how low my units are, this could like really be... This could go very, very poorly for my units. These two, unfortunately, get way too close to the TC. If they were more in the back line, it would have been fine. Tadpole has to start bringing his units over, and it looks like I am just going to leave Theseus to die. Yeah, not even going to try to pull him back as I begin pulling my units back. Tadpole is pulling over himself, and it looks like he was checking the advance to see if I was moving forward. And we just go right by each other. Right over. Centaurs see a bigger force. They're not interested in fighting against that, and we just go our own merry ways. Let's take a look around again real quick. We are both in the second age, as we are both trying to get up. He is going to be in the lead here, going to Apollo, while I am going to Aphrodite, building out a bigger farming eco. He has a very nice eco right here. As our units get into it, trying to build a watchtower, I guess. Just get a little sight on things coming in. As I lose a lot of units. I didn't have to. Clearly, there was a bunch of units sitting over here. That was a bit of a waste of a villager and a couple bits of military, as looks like I'm going to be sending some villagers ahead to do something. Not sure what. Looks like just build a storehouse. One's gone off to build a house real quick, because I am pop capped yet again, like usual, as these come in for a watchtower and a storehouse. Okay. I do think probably getting a watchtower or something else here is going to be quite important, just to get a little vision. This is clearly the spot we both decided is just going to be the place that we fight. And it looks like, seeing that he had not taken this area, I decided to take it myself. It's not going to go well. I have nothing but human units. He has a lot of myth. My units are going to be completely devastated, as I think I see that, notice it, and start trying to build a fortress, but I don't have nearly enough units right here. There's no way that they can finish that. Even if he ignores it, yep. They're going to have to run, and I assume that I just destroy this base. Nope, the units are just going to kill it off themselves. That is a bit of a waste of resources, but it would have been very, very nice if I had actually gotten that fortress up and running. We'll clean up the gold, and that's surprising. I'm surprised he didn't keep pushing in. I'll start building a defensive fortress, which is a good idea at this point. I mean, he's clearly got so much more military than I do. I have not kept up with my production at all. He is completely outpacing that. In large part, I think, because he's actually producing favor, while I have, unfortunately, basically ignored it, which is obviously to my detriment here. Pretty even production on things, although I really need to keep gold up. I'm clearly, at least in comparison to things, really lacking on my gold production. Tadpole is as well, but we are mining out most of the gold, although he has one very, very safe source here and here, so he should be good. The other two are definitely in this contention area. Mine is the one that is obviously going to be far, far harder to make any use of. As these villagers come over here, I guess possibly to just add to the farming eco on this side. Maybe wanting to get them to safety out of this area. I'm glad he did not think to go over here, because these villagers would have absolutely been destroyed. As Tadpole, okay, very smart. He used his Pegasus to put an underground passage in the backside, brought all of his units in. Great raid on these villagers. They're all going to have to push out, and if he keeps pushing forward, he should be able to clean out really all of them. They can't go anywhere, and I was not smart enough to throw them into the town center, which has plenty of space for all of them, actually. Would have gone in just fine. I'm moving my units in, and this fight is not going to go well at all. Even with a very good roar from the Nemean line right there, there's no way that this actually goes anywhere great. Use Aphrodite's pigs. Unfortunately, I do grab one of the manticores, but not both of them, as I decide to cease fire. He cease fires. Interesting. Tadpole cease fires. That fight would have absolutely gone in his favor. There's no way that I would have won that. At least, I don't think so. And I think him realizing that, he's decided to just put his military straight in front of my base, ready to attack when the ceasefire is over. We are about nose to nose as these armies can get. Now this, being this close, the three Nemean lions at the start will roar. Big stuns. That is what I need in my favor. Nemean lion is a fantastic unit because of those stuns. I don't... Okay. It looks like having the two hero units up here is doing the bulk of the work and is what's able to turn this around. Those Nemean lion stuns into these heroes. As I throw down an emergency fortification, with all these villagers that were just hanging out here, not gathering food, throwing up the fort, I will probably... Okay, I'll definitely win this fight now that the fortification is here. Which is in great timing, as these footmen now also start coming forward. I've got villagers going back to work after that last raid. We come out about as even as possible, but having this fortification here is going to change a lot of things. Nemean Lion comes in for the stun, but it's not going to do much. I mean, being right under the fortress, they're not going to be able to get hit. I need to get other units in here. But thankfully, those things do have a lot of health and can hold out for a while. He probably shouldn't be trying this, though. Without siege or just a lot of military infantry to push the base of it, there's not a lot that's going to happen. Although heavy Hyapists are doing their fair share. Medium Hippiuses are going to die, but they might just be enough of a distraction to keep the fortress safe. I wonder if I'm going to bring any villagers forward, as it seems like they're mostly building small watchtowers right now. Distracted just trying to get that. I may have just decided that this fortress is going to die, and I'm not worried about it. It's done its job, and that it distracted them long enough that I didn't die. As that underground passage really needs to get dealt with, because he has free reign into the back of my base there. He probably could have, if he wanted, been much safer with this. And this fight obviously was turned around really solely due to the militia output. That great extra ability of Poseidon that when his buildings go down, military buildings in particular, they spawn militia, which are weak, but a bunch of militia popping out at the end of the fight can be super strong. I see that. It looks like Petroboloses are going to start being made out of the fortress. As I assume I'm also going to rank up to age 4 here. That's probably all that's going to save me at this point, honestly, is going to age 4. Looks like he's... okay, I saw these big squares. Okay, I went back here to look at these squares thinking that these were fortresses. I did not know that I had sent... How many is this? 23 villagers into his backline to farm golden trees. We are just hanging out together as villagers are... I'm throwing my villagers to attack. I've given up on the actual military front line. I'm starting to push in, but it's not accomplishing much. He's going to be much too strong here. Instead, I am just causing a weird bit of havoc here in the backline as he's too distracted to save his villagers from mine. Petrobolos is out. It looks like I'm probably going to finally take care of this underworld passage, as his extra centaurs are going to be planning to clean this up. Probably will push back in with no problem. I just leave that hero to die. Don't do anything about it. I assume I'm going to leave these to die. In a large way, taking out this underworld passage is the... It's pretty important. If he has just free reign into the back, it's going to destroy me. Moving in with the infantry to try to get them off of the Petrobolos. Not quite done, though. He could still raid, but it's probably low enough it's going to be fine. And this area is just going to become a killing ground between our two sides, probably from here on out. So I see a lot of movement here. What's going on here? Looks like we're still just doing plenty of attacking up forward. I've been knocked back yet again. I don't think I have enough units here to keep him out. Am I going to Aphrodite? I don't have enough. Okay. I had just enough. Right at the end there, I got just enough favor where I could use another ceasefire. He probably could have done a lot of damage to me with those units if I hadn't had it, which is part of why... It's probably because I'm bad, to be honest. But it is part of why I like going for Mercury with his... Or Hermes, rather, with his ceasefire. As I start throwing up... We both start throwing up fortresses here in the back. I guess he did it in response to the villager raids I was doing back here. And I must have done it in response to his fortress. He'll get his up first as he starts shooting into the granary. Fight here is going fairly evenly. I'm not quite sure who will win. I really want to check out what's going on back here, though. As these villagers are getting run back home, I guess. I just threw up the fortress for no real reason. I'm not sure what's... I don't know what's going on. What is going on here? I'm just running villagers into his TC. I'm going to try to fortress drop his TC itself. No, I realize that that's a terrible idea. Run them back out. See the centaur, realize they're all just going to die anyways, and decide to just throw them down. Oh, this is not going to get built. There's no way that that actually gets built ever. We're going to take a quick look over here. Looks like that's making some progress. He's going to get fairly close, but they will die. If he didn't bring in this extra military, it would have been built. But he didn't, so that'll go down. As it looks like he will start countering and start moving into... I had a little watchtower there. How did I get a watchtower there? Oh, and is that too close enough? They can't attack each other. Okay. They're actually too close to do anything to each other, as this fortress and this fortress are also just out of range of each other. What in the world? Okay, I had a villager back here. I'm just building watchtowers in his back line. His infantry come forward, I assume, to start tearing down the watchtower. That's what he should be doing. Let's see what's going on here. We're both just... I'm amassing units. It looks like he has been distracted with whatever the hell I'm doing in his back line. As I throw up another fortress now. Right in front of a bunch of heavy toxins. So it's... Well, this is making progress. This will probably go up if he doesn't do anything else. Throwing up another fortress over here to grab this gold and start pushing him out. As I guess I just probably attack moved with these. I don't know how distracted I am at this point with... Hey, okay, putting out a Petroblos out of this fortress, great move. It's going to be able to take care of his fortress, and I could start moving in against his other units. Fortress is going to, of course, win that fight, as this fortress is going to go up uncontested. I completely lose all of my military here. But I guess if I can keep enough of a trickle of military in here to keep pushing him back as I go for another fortress, I have invested 100% at this point in fortresses. Interesting. He moves his military out. If he kept killing the villagers, it would have been fine. But he gets distracted over here by this fortress. Which, to be fair, I mean, it is hitting his temple, but that's going to allow this fortress to possibly go up. They are getting, like, really hurt, but this fortress is this is going to go up, and then just immediately go into it. Okay, so these fortresses are going to watch each other. They're both going to be fairly safe without a big push or some siege, as he continues to dominate the military game. The two ceasefires are really all that's kept this thing alive. Like, he has consistently dominated military 100%. Throughout this entire game, he's been ahead in military. I start throwing up an emergency fortress number 7. There's no way this goes up. He's got way too many Hyapists. They're absolutely going to die. Watchtowers aren't going to do anything. I'm probably going to lose this TC. But to be honest, pretty minor loss at this point. I mean, sure, this is a lot of... Again. Tadpole, every time, has moved his military units out right before he does what he needs to. Right before he kills off a fortress. Right before he kills off the villagers getting the fortress. Right? The only thing he's really finishing off every time are my military units. Which he is doing, absolutely. He's doing a fantastic job of it. Again, he has dominated the military game here. But he is just not ever, like, sinking in for that last little bit. Keeping the fortresses dead. Keeping the villagers dead. He's consistently going to 90%, and I think that alone is what's actually gonna... It's what's gonna keep me into this game, if nothing else, since what might allow me to win this game. Although I don't know how many more fortresses I can really build. I mean, I've got plenty of gold and everything. Petrobolos is gonna stay up over there. It's amazing how... I mean, they're late game units for sure, but heavy hoplites do, like, really destroy a fortress. You do not need siege this late in the game to kill him. As he starts building gold, his gold has been all used up, and he's now struggling to get any. I'm sure that this is going to become a center point. And yet again, exactly what I was talking about. This fortress should be dead right here. He should not have called the hoplites out to deal with my military. He got distracted. That allowed the fortress to be alive longer, get more kills. And he's just getting distracted again. That is the only thing. That is the only thing that's allowing me to do anything in this game. Is his constant getting distracted with military units. As it looks like this Petrobolos has started taking care of his town center. Is that his... He's trying to make another town center out here, but this one is going to probably go down. I mean, he's got enough military units he could push in. Militia spawn is going to be enough to at least distract the hoplites long enough that that will happen. I got this Petrobolos taking care of his TC over here. This game is probably won. As disgusting and all over the place as it was, as many fortresses as were just thrown away, spamming fortresses have probably done it. His centaurs aren't going to be able to kill the Petrobolos quick enough. It's going to take care of the town center. I don't think this many villagers is gun going. No, they'll slowly keep it up. So it's going to take the... Okay, him killing the Petrobolos will keep his town center alive. He'll be perfectly fine there. I assume this one has been taken out. Yes, the Petrobolos took it out. As there are pigs thrown out somewhere. Here. Looks like to try to get a military advantage. He pops up to the Mythic Age now. I still have not been to the Mythic Age. I've had fortresses all over the place this entire time. I've had tons of resources. Have not once... just clicked up to it. Him clicking up to it made me realize that I need to click up to it. Alright. Have a new Petrobolos in here. He's not repairing because he's distracted. That's going to allow that TC to go down. Plenty of villagers, but they are being pushed back by just slow military spam from Petroboloses. He's been completely gold capped for... by gold capped, I mean he's out of gold. And he's been out of gold for a while because of this push. This middle gold is all that was really left. That... And is this gold even gone? This gold is still left, but it's like right in the middle of some of my fortresses and Petroboloses. He's probably too worried to take it. This fortress is going to go down. There's no doubt about it. But in the meantime, I'm just spamming military units in. Clearly not paying attention. Otherwise, I would not be using Petroboloses on a house. As he works on this fortress. The town center is barely still alive. He has not used Hera's ability yet, but I guess I haven't had a big enough military grouping to actually like really make it worth it. As everything's being... I don't even think things are being attacked moved. I bet that I have set... yeah, I've set things to literally waypoint into his back corner, and I'm just spamming units that way. As he calls the GG. StoneAgeFeeder pulls it out with nothing but fortress spam and sheer luck, as Trim Tadpole 100% should have had this game heavily in his pocket, had no real reason to lose this game. He only did so because he kept pulling military units away at the last moment before he had them do what they need to do. Killing villagers, killing fortresses, killing other military sometimes. He just got it right there to the very end and didn't quite finish it. That's really unfortunate, but it was an interesting game to watch. A lot of dumb stuff going on, but that's part of what makes the Stone Age so fun, I think, is just the sheer panic that happens in these games at all times. That'll be it for this one. Thank you all very much, and I hope you have a good day.